with Apex Legends Season 20 recently dropping, and it's been out for about a week now. I wanted to do a weapons tier list. At least for me personally, I have not done a weapons tier list since I think like Season 18, so I'm kind of overdue. So whether this video does well or not, I know I'm kind of a little bit late compared to a lot of other people as well. I just kind of wanted to, me at least personally, kind of do a weapons tier list video since I haven't done one in forever. So we did get a lot of consistent weapon changes, and we got a new care package weapon and something coming out of the care package and that type of thing. So there's a few different weapon changes as well, at least like balance wise, that I want to talk about, and a lot of stuff has changed since Season 18. So without further ado, let's get right into this. If you guys like this video, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. I also did a Legends tier list about a few days ago as well. When you guys are seeing this on the channel, I'll leave a link to that at the end of the video if you guys want to go check it out. But without further ado, let's hop right into this. I'll throw the list for you guys on screen right now. I probably won't show the entire list, but we're going to be ranking from F tier all the way up to SS tier. SS tier is going to be your like best of the best stuff, the stuff that you're going to drop whatever you have and pick it up no matter what. And then you got the F tier, which we're probably going to start with, which is the stuff that's just garbage. These are weapons that you're not going to pick unless you're like off drop and you need a gun to fight somebody until you like find anything else. They're weapons that are just going to get you killed pretty much off drop. So, or like if you keep them longer than just like right off drop. I'll throw the first tier on screen, which is going to be the F tier. But in this tier, we actually got the P2020 and the charge rifle. I'm not going to really spend too much time on a lot of the lower tier type weapons because, especially with the P2020 and the charge rifle, both these weapons are garbage. The P2020 with hammer points, like even then, you're still not going to be bringing it to mid or late game. The game right now, if you guys know, is like so sweaty. Like everybody's just running at you. If you can get like a huge amount of damage at the start of a fight, or even like during a mid fight, you just ape the enemy team. And if you don't have enough damage at close to even like medium range, you just get out damaged by everything. And that's the P2020's problem. Why would you ever use this gun? And same with the charge rifle. Ever since they reworked the charge rifle, they killed this thing. It's absolute garbage. It's garbage at close range, medium range, and long range. If you want a sniper, pick up any other sniper or marksman rifle. Hashtag revert the charge rifle in the comments down below because they did this thing fucking dirty. Man, is it garbage. Real shame. It went from being the best, one of the funnest to play best guns in the game, to being the worst gun in the game for about 4 seasons now. It's garbage. Next, we got D tier. We got the R99, the Car, and the Devotion. The Devotion I'm not going to really talk about. This gun's completely garbage. Unless you have this thing fully kitted with turbocharger, it just doesn't do anything. It'll just get you killed. Or if you're like running Rampart, I guess the only legend that you want to maybe have it with is maybe Rampart because she likes LMGs with their passive, but apart from that, it's a garbage gun. And then they also nerfed the Car and the R99 really harshly. There's no reason to pick these SMGs up unless you're like off drop. Even like being fully kitted, there's not that good. There's a lot of better SMGs currently. If you guys actually want to play the game and do good, I think actually ARs are the way to go. If you want to run assault rifles, I think ARs are just way better than SMGs currently. Next we got C tier. I got the 3030 repeater, the RE45, and the L-Star. The L-Star actually lost the barrel stabilizers for the Season 20 update, so it's not as good. It's also just incredibly like ammo hungry. You got to run like at least 240, like 2 or 3, like 4, maybe even sometimes 4 like energy ammo stacks. Otherwise, you just run out of ammo with this thing. It's just not that good. The RE45 actually ain't too bad, but it's something that just lacks damage going into like mid to late game. And unless you have hammer points, it's just not that good. I think it's probably one of the better weapons, though, at least for like the pistols, if you want to run like a thermal digi threat on it, which ain't too bad. And then you got the 3030 repeater, which got some significant nerfs. It's not nearly as good anymore. If you want to run a marksman rifle, you're going to be running some of the ones that we're going to be talking about in a little bit in this list. It's just not as good anymore. Next, you got the B tier with the Mozambique, the Peacekeeper, the Prowler SMG, and then you got the longbow. The longbow, mainly the reason why I have it in B tier is I feel like it just doesn't do enough damage. Even with Skull Piercer, it's decent if you can land headshots, but being 55 for a body shot, I think the damage needs to kind of be buffed on the longbow. I think they should buff it back up to 60 or 65. I think that'd be a little bit better. I think it's just a sniper that has a good fire rate and everything, but it just doesn't do enough damage. A lot of people are going to disagree with the Prowler being in B tier. I don't know about you guys, but the Prowler having no automatic firing mode and being a burst SMG is just not really that good, especially unless you like get it fully kitted. The only way the Prowler is actually good is if you can get like a purple fully kitted or even like gold, like purple or gold fully kitted on this thing. If you find this thing off drop, it doesn't have a big enough mag size to really do anything. Its recoil is awful. It's just not that good. I'd rather use like any other SMG or like anything else off drop than the Prowler most times because it's gotten me killed so much. Same with the Peacekeeper, it's just not consistent enough. Half the time you're landing shots that only do like 10 to 20 damage. Once in a while, if you can land a huge crazy shot like that does like 90 damage, that's what it's meant to do. But very rarely, especially like mid-fight, you're just going to be trying to shoot at somebody and you're not going to be landing like that much consistent damage. And the main theme with this list is consistency. At least that's what I like. That's kind of why I prioritize weapons that are more consistent overall, like the ones that like nuke or like probably better, at least in most people's opinions. I like consistency. I like doing reliable amounts of damage. And overall, that's usually what wins me fights. I don't know about you guys. And then the Mozambique, which I'm not going to talk about very much. It's overall a really good gun, though just the main problem is there's a better shotguns in the game right now. That's just the main thing. If you want to really run the Mozambique, though, you can probably take it to late game. It's still a really solid weapon. It's just kind of ammo hungry as well. You kind of run a lot of ammo with it just because usually if you run a shotgun, you don't want to run that much ammo, maybe like 1 or 2 stacks of ammo. With the Mozambique, with how fast its fire rate is, and you're going to be fighting a lot, it kind of goes through a lot of ammo. That's the only kind of drawback, but overall it's pretty good. Next we got the A tier. In this tier, I actually got the EVA 8 care package shotgun, the triple take, the Havoc, Rampage, Spitfire, Hemlock, G7 Scout, and the alternator. Let's talk about the EVA 8 first. Overall, the reason why I have the EVA 8 and A tier, which like these are all your average weapons that are just average, nothing crazy about them, but like nothing bad. Like they're all weapons you can pick up and do really well with, no matter what map or what game or whatever you're using. I think if you're looking at the EVA 8 and the care package, it's probably the worst care package weapon. The main reason why I have this thing in A tier is you're not going to be picking up at all, especially if you have like fully kitted weapons towards your middle or late game. Unless you're like Mad Maggie or like you have nothing else that's really good on your loadout at that point in the game. It's just a barrel stuffer weapon. If you're not right in somebody's face, the EVA 8 legit does nothing. And I think that's the main problem with the EVA 8. If you're right in somebody's face, though, it melts people. It's really good, but like you have to be like right in somebody's face to even do anything. And being that it has like legit no range, it's just not that good. I'd rather have a gun that has at least somewhat range and have to go right in somebody's face and have a weapon that's kind of useless unless you're able to get close to somebody. That's at least me personally. I just don't think it's that good. The triple takes are really consistent marksman. Same with the G7. They're probably the both most consistent marksman rifles in the game right now. If you guys want a marksman, it's either probably the triple take or the G7. It's kind of just a personal preference. At least for me, I like the triple take. Does a lot less damage, but the damage is a lot more consistent with the 3 pellet spread. At least for me, I like the triple take a lot more. Both are really good, though. The Havoc's really good as well, especially off drop. The drawback with it is, though, that it takes a little bit to wind up, and that kind of can hurt you in a fight with how long it takes to wind up. If you can find a turbocharger, you can kind of play around the wind up. It's still really good. It has really solid damage, and its recoil isn't too bad. The Rampage and the Spitfire are the best LMGs currently. I think people are sleeping on the Spitfire and the Rampage. I really do. Reason why I'm not putting the Rampage higher is just mainly because you need to carry a shit ton of thermites around to actually make use of its best firing mode, being fully hopped up on a thermite. Apart from that, I think they're both really, really good right now. And then you got the alternator, which is just a really consistent, easy-to-use SMG, especially with a lot of the other SMGs getting nerfed. The alternator never got any type of changes, and it also is just really easy to use. It kind of has a slower fire rate, but overall it's more consistent damage. And I think it's probably like one of my more go-to SMGs if I'm looking for an SMG or can't find anything else in a match. Then you got the S tier. We got the R301, the Flatline, the Nemesis, the Mastiff Shotgun Volt, and then the Sentinel. So I'm not going to really talk about the R301, the Flatline, or the Nemesis right now. These are all ARs that I think are probably like 3 that are kind of tied right now currently for being like the best in the game. It's kind of just personal preference. Whether you want like ease of use with the R301, slightly better damage with the flatline, or like want to run more with the Nemesis, it's kind of just comes down to personal preference, and run like a burst type gun with the Nemesis. At least for me personally, like the R301 or the Nemesis, but like whatever I can get my hands on, they're all, or like whatever you can find off drop or in the match, they're all really, really good. Mastiff, I think, is probably the best shotgun. The only drawback is it's not really the greatest if you don't have it kitted. You need at least like a gray shotgun bolt to have at least decent reload and like firing speed. Otherwise, it takes forever between shots. But apart from that, I think it's probably the best shotgun in the game right now. And I guess apart from, I guess maybe the EV8, but I think overall, like for consistency, I think it's better. It's the best shotgun. And then you got the Volt, which is probably the best SMG in the game right now. Has decent recoil, like you can manage the recoil pretty well. Has decent, actually, like medium range, with a lot of the other SMGs don't really have. They're just like pure close range now with a lot of the changes. And it's also an energy weapon. With the Nemesis being played a lot right now, energy really isn't the hardest weapon type or ammo type to find. So really solid if you're looking for an SMG. I think the Volt's probably the best one in the game. And then you got the Sentinel, which, if you charge this thing up with a few like shield cells, this thing's just crazy. I think if you want a sniper, apart from the Kraber, the Sentinel's probably the most consistent one right now. It's overall really, really good. Especially if you can just charge up with a shield cell, like you're doing crazy amounts of damage. If you're able to pop somebody for like a 120-something headshot from across the map, especially early game, and get a huge down, and your team's able to push that, like, that's crazy value. And then last but not least, you guys are probably thinking, oh, where's the care package weapons? Well, SS tier, that's the rest of the care package weapons. I'm not going to talk about the rest of these very much, but we got the Bocek bow, the Wingman, and the Kraber. The Kraber is self-explanatory. Still incredibly good, best sniper in the game. Crazy damage. Bocek's really, really good, just mainly because as a marksman, it's silent, and also has really solid damage numbers. Like 70 for body, and I think it's like, I'm not sure the exact amount for a headshot, but being that it's silent type of damage, you can kind of catch your opponents off guard too, because they don't know where you're firing at them from. So you're able to get a lot more damage than a lot of the other types of weapons in the game that actually have sound. And the Apex in-game sound, it really isn't the greatest to begin with, so it's always a huge advantage being able to run the Bocek, just getting a consistent amount of damage. And then we have the Wingman, which they actually nerfed recently, at least when I'm recording this. They took away the digital thread on it, and they actually replaced it, I think, with a 1x optics. So, and then they reduced the ammo capacity. I think it was 110 down to 90 overall for the ammo magazine, or like the ammo carrying consumption. So that was something the pro players complained about. So another thing that the pro players complained about, that the devs listened to and they ruined for everybody else. I don't even think the Wingman with the digital threat was even that broken, but keep begging and catering to the pro players. Another thing that they kind of ruined for no reason. I don't know. I think still the Wingman's still incredibly good, though, even though it lost some ammo capacity, and without the digital threat, it's still really solid. So, apart from that, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, overall, I probably should have said this earlier, though, but, like, mainly for this list, like, what I'm trying to do with this list is, like, this is mainly for, like, your average, like, lower to mid-tier, like, average-type players, not your pro players, not, like, your high-tier, like, sweaty players. This is for, like, your average players, which is kind of, like, what I am. That, like, weapon tier list. Like, if you're cracked at the game and you have, like, crazy aim, by all means, like, there's a lot of stuff in this list that probably can rank higher, but for, like, your average player, I think this is probably the best list, in my opinion. And at least from my perspective, at least my opinion, a lot of this stuff is kind of based off what I run most of my games, so, and what works for me. I think that one last thing I actually wanted to mention, which I was going to mention earlier as well, I think that actually the main thing right now with the weapon balance, I think the weapon balance overall with the game is actually really good, because there's nothing that you says that, like, at least me, that I personally think that's, like, absolutely fucking broken. Like, the care package weapons are all really good, but I don't think there's, like, any specific weapon in the game right now that's, like, legit actually broken. Overall, I think the main problem with the game is actually the cheaters. I think cheaters are actually ruining the game more so than the weapon balance. I think the weapon balance is actually probably the best it's been still. It's actually really good this season, so I don't know, at least when I was recording this too, I went against somebody earlier that was a level 5, like a brand new level 5 account, and the guy was running like an R301 with unlimited ammo, just hip firing, one clipping everybody, and I ended up dying to that garbage in a public casual match, not even a ranked. The guy created a new account to go on and fucking hack. That's how fucking bad hackers are in the game right now. I think if they really want to work on anything, the main thing I've been dying to is just the fucking hackers, with people that just fucking one-clip me. But overall, I think at least apart from the hackers abusing that type of shit, I think overall, like, your weapon better for, like, the people that actually play legit, I think it's still really solid. There's not really anything that's, like, broken by any means, so really fair overall weapon meta currently. Apart from that, I just wanted to say that and add that towards the end. I probably should have said that a lot earlier, but apart from that, I'm going to get out of here. Peace out, everybody. But apart from that, hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, share the video. I have got a bunch more stuff on the way as well. I got some Overwatch 2 stuff on the way, along with Scarlet Violet Wi-Fi sessions and a bunch of other stuff. I also do a stream over here. I stream Apex Legends, Overwatch 2, a bunch of other stuff. We got a new Splatoon 3 season dropping here in about a week. I might be streaming that. So if that interests you guys, feel free to subscribe so you do not miss when I'm live. That'd be great as well. Apart from that, I'm going to get out of here.